Good morning everyone. In today's class, we'll be discussing about Warshall's algorithm. In the previous video lecture, we have discussed what is dynamic programming and what are the types of problems that dynamic programming solves. Dynamic programming is used to solve or to obtain an optimal solution, and dynamic programming also solves the problem of overlapping solutions. We have also seen that with the help of an example in the previous video lecture. So in today's class, we'll be discussing an algorithm called as Warshall's algorithm, and this algorithm uses dynamic programming to solve a certain problem. So what that problem is: Warshall's algorithm uses the adjacency matrix to find the transitive closure of a directed graph. We have a directed graph with vertices and edges. Using that directed graph, we are going to find out its transitive closure property. So in order to find the transitive closure property of a given graph, we need to use the adjacency matrix of that given graph. Now what does that mean? What does that mean? The name transitive closure. The name transitive closure, what does that mean? All of us know what is meant by transitive property. All of us know what is the meaning of transitive property. It means that if A is related to B and if B is related to C, then we can say that A is related to C. This is what is called as transitive property. This is with respect to mathematical set, like A, B and C are three elements belonging to a set. If A belongs to B and B belongs to C, we can say that A belongs to C. What about graphs? In graphs, we say that a graph is transitive if for every triple of vertices, if there are three vertices A, B and C of a given graph, if A and B is an edge and B and C is an edge, then we say that A and C is also an edge. So what does this mean? I have a graph over here with three vertices A, B and C. With three vertices A, B and C. What does this say? For every triple of vertices, which means that I have three vertices in a graph, if A to B is an edge, if I have an edge from A to B, and if I have an edge from B to C, if I have an edge from B to C, then I can say that A to C is also an edge, which means I can have a path from A to C using this intermediate vertex B. This is what is transitive property for a graph. A to B, there is an edge, B to C, there is an edge. So I can say that there is a path that exists from A to C via a vertex B. This is what is called transitive. This is what is called transitive. Now what is meant by closure? Now let's see what is meant by closure with respect to mathematics. If you have a set of elements, if A and B are in a set, then A plus B should also be in that set. Say for example, I have a set of elements 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 up to n. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 up to n. This is a set of all even numbers. So if I say A plus B, if I say 4 plus 6, what is 4 plus 6? Is equal to 10. So this 10 also should belong to this particular set. Yes, 10 belongs to this particular set, which means that this set is closed, or this set satisfies the closure property. So transitive we have seen. If A to B is an edge and B to C is an edge, then we can say that there is a path exists from A to C via B. So closure refers to I need to form this transitive property of a graph using the vertices and edges given in the graph. I should not add any additional vertices or edges to this existing graph to form a transitive closure property. All right. So this is what is called transitive closure of a directed graph. So in order to find this transitive closure of a directed graph, I'm going to use Warshall's algorithm. So let's see what that Warshall's algorithm means. Okay. So first it says that we need an adjacency matrix. What is an adjacency matrix? It is an n by n matrix. Adjacency matrix is an n by n matrix. Say you have 4 vertices, then your matrix is going to be 4 by 4. If you have 3 vertices, then your matrix is going to be 3 by 3. Your matrix is going to be 3 by 3. So this adjacency matrix is a Boolean matrix, which means it has values zeros and ones. It has values zeros and ones. Say for example, I have a matrix 4 by 4 matrix. This is a 4 by 4 matrix because my graph contains 4 vertices. So since I have 4 vertices, I'm going to have 4 rows and 4 columns. Let's see how to have that adjacency matrix. Consider this particular graph, this particular directed graph. If there is a directed graph from one vertex to another vertex, I'm going to denote it by 1. If there is no directed edge between one vertex to another vertex, I'm going to denote it by 0. So let's see, from A to A, is there a directed edge? No, so I'm going to say 0. Next, A to B, is there a directed edge? Yes. Is there a path between A to B? Yes, there is a path from A to B, so this is going to be 1. From A to C, no, there is nothing, so it is 0. From A to D, no. From A to D, I don't have a direct path. Right? This direction is from D to A, not A to D, so it is 0. Similarly, for the remaining ones, B to A is 0, B to B is 0, B to C is 0, B to D is 1. C to A 0, C to B is 0, C to D is 0, and C to C is also 0. Next, D to A, yes, I have an edge from D to A. So D to A is 1, D to B is 0, D to C is 1, yes, I have path from D to C, an edge. D to D is again 0. So this is how you represent an adjacency matrix. These ones and zeros represent whether there is an edge from one vertex to another vertex. I hope this is clear. Okay, you can have any directed graph. Based on that directed graph, you can come up with this adjacency matrix. All right. So the second point, so the first one is the adjacency matrix. All right. The second one, let n be the number of vertices, let T of k be an adjacency matrix. So this is, we can call it as T of k adjacency matrix. Now this particular set 1, 2 up to k contains the intermediate vertices. Now since we are talking about transitive closure property, we need an intermediate vertex to form that transitive relation for a graph. So this is a set of all those intermediate vertices. Now in order to get the transitive closure for a particular directed graph using Warshall's algorithm, this is the formula that we need to, or this is the rule that we need to use in order to get the transitive closure property of a directed graph. You all can make a note of this particular rule. We will be applying the same rule for that directed graph which we have seen, and we'll try to get the transitive closure property, which means in this particular graph, if I have to find a path from A to D. Now, according to that adjacency matrix what I have drawn, A to D is 0, which means there is no direct path between A to D. If I have to consider whether I can have a path from A to D using any intermediate vertex. So looking at this particular directed graph, I can say that I don't have a direct edge between A to B. It is from D to A. But is there any intermediate vertex present in this graph using which I can reach this vertex D from A? Yes, there is B. I can go from A to B and I can go from B to D. Yes. So this is what is called as transitive closure. So using that formula, using this formula or this particular rule, we'll be able to get the transitive closure property. So what does this rule mean? What does this rule mean? Rule number 1, if an element in the ith row and jth column is 1, then it remains 1 in T of k. We'll see what is T of k and T of k minus 1. Alright, we'll see what is T of k minus 1 and what is T of k. So using this adjacency matrix, we are going to generate n number of matrices. Alright, like if there are 4 vertices, then I'm going to have 4 matrices. So this matrix, adjacency matrix, this is going to be T of 0, then I'm going to have T of 1, T of 2 up to T of 4. So this 1, 2, 3, 4, these are all matrices that we are going to generate using that particular rule. So if I have to generate T of 1 using T of 0, then what does it say? If an element in the ith row and jth column is 1 in T of k minus 1. So this is now T of k. T of k, value of k is 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. If in this T of 0, in the ith row and jth column, if the value is 1, it remains 1 in this as well. So wherever there are 1s, I'm going to retain them in this matrix as well. That is the first rule. The second rule, if an element in the ith row and jth column is 0 in T of k minus 1. This is T of k minus 1 now. If it is 0, it has to be changed to 1. It has to be changed to 1. I am going to check whether that 0 can be converted to 1. Can I have a path between 2 vertices using an intermediate vertex? This is what it means. How do you change it to 1? If and only if T of k minus 1 shows a path from I to k and a path from k to j. Let's see what is I, k and j. The second rule says that if an element in the ith row and jth column is 0, it has to be changed to 1. If and only if. If and only if T of k minus 1 shows a path from I to k. Now this is my I, this is k and this is j. If I want to construct a path or have a path between I to j, then there has to be a path from I to k and k to j. Only if this is true, I can make I to j as 1. In this example here, if you see, there is no directed path between I and j. So in the adjacency matrix, it will be reflected as 0. I want to make it 1. If I have to make it 1, I need to check, is there a path from I to k? K is an intermediate vertex. Yes, there is a path from I to k and also from k to j. Now this arrow goes from k to j. If this was like this, from j to k, this would have been 0. So both those conditions have to be true. I to k also has to be 1 and k to j also has to be 1. Only in this case that 0 can be converted to 1. So this is the directed graph which we'll be considering, and we're going to find its transitive closure property. So the first step is that we're going to start with the adjacency matrix. So I'm going to call that adjacency matrix as T0. So since we have 4 vertices A, B, C and D, this is going to be a 4 by 4 matrix. Alright. So this is the adjacency matrix which I have got from this directed graph. It's a Boolean matrix with zeros and ones. If there is an edge between 2 vertices, there is 1. If there is no edge between 2 vertices, it is 0. I hope this is clear. Now using this, I'm going to generate n number of matrices, and the last matrix is going to give me the transitive closure property. Since I have 4 vertices, I'm going to generate 4 matrices. If there were 3 vertices, there would be 3 matrices. Okay, so the first one is going to be T1. T1. So this T1 will be generated from T0. So this is T of k, and this is T of k minus 1. This is T of k, this is T of k minus 1. So apply that rule, what we have seen. Let's see. So 4 matrices, 4 vertices. Alright. So the first rule says that wherever 1 is there, I need to retain them. The first rule in that presentation, what you have seen, it says that wherever there are 1s, we need to retain them. So wherever there are 1s, just copy it down. Just copy it down. Okay, so I have 4 1s over here. I have written 4 1s over here. Now the first intermediate vertex that I'm going to have is vertex A. So what I'm going to do is the first column and the first row, I'm going to freeze it. This means that for the first iteration that I'm going to have, or the first matrix that I'm going to generate, A is going to be the intermediate vertex. So write the values of those intermediate vertex, keep them as they are. Alright. So wherever there are zeros remaining, I'm going to try to convert them to 1. I'm going to try to convert them to 1 using transitive closure property and following that rule. What does that rule tell? That rule says T of k I comma j represents the vertices, is equal to T of k minus 1 I comma j, or T of k minus 1 I comma k. K is the intermediate vertex over here. So in the first matrix, our intermediate vertex is going to be A, and I'm going to use a logical AND over here. Here I've used OR. T of k minus 1, it is going to be k comma j. Why AND over here? The second rule. If there is a edge from I to k and k to j, only then I can say there is a path from I to j. We had seen it with the help of 3 vertices. So this rule applies there. Alright. So we're going to apply this rule and we're going to find out, or we're going to try to convert all these zeros to ones in this matrix. Alright. B to B is 0 over here. Yes, let's try to convert this 0 to 1. Let's see if I can have a path from B to B. So in T of k minus 1, T of k minus 1, ij. Here ij is b comma b. So let's write that. T of 0, b comma b. Or T of k minus 1. K minus 1 is this, T of 0. So T of 0, I comma k. What is the intermediate vertex now? A. So I comma k. So it is b comma a. And T of 0, k comma j. What is k over here? A. What is j? B. Let's see. B comma b in t minus 0 or t0. T0. What is the value of b comma b? It is 0. Or is there an edge from b to a in t0? B to a, do I have an edge? B to a? No, it is 0. So write down 0. And a to b, is there an edge from a to b? Yes, a to b is 1. So write 1. This is logical AND. So 1 and 0 is always 0. 0 or 0, it's going to be 0. So in T of k, that is T of 1 b to b, T of 1 b to b, I'm going to write the value 0. So b to b, I'm going to write the value 0. I tried to convert this 0 into 1, but no, it still remains 0. There's one more 0 over here, b to c. Let's try to convert it. B to c. Let's see. B comma c. So in T of 1, that is T of k, B to c, I'm going to see what value will I get. Will I be able to convert it to 1 or not? So in T of 0, B to c, this is I and this is j. Next, I comma k. K is the intermediate vertex. In our case here, A is the intermediate vertex. So it is going to be B comma A. And next, kj. K is A and J is C. Now let's see what it comes to. In T0, let's see the value of B to C. What is B to C? 0. Or in T of 0, we'll see B to A. B to A is 0. So this is going to be 0. And in T0, A to C. A to C, 0. So this will evaluate to 0. So in T of 1, B to C will also be 0. B to C will also be 0. This entire row will remain 0. Calculate this using this formula, you will get it as 0. Let's see about this D. Here it is 0. I'll try to convert this 0 to 1 using this rule. So what is that? D to B. D to B, I want it to be 1. Let's see if I can do that. In T of 0, D to B, intermediate vertex is again A. So it is going to be D to A and A to B. This is I comma J. This is I comma J. D to A and A to B. Let's see what those values are. T0 D to B. This is T0. What is D to B? D to B is 0. Or T0 D to A. D to A is 1. And A to B. A to B is also 1. So 1 and 1 is 1. 0 or 1 is 1. So the value of D to B in T of 1 is 1. Which means there was no direct path or no direct edge between D to B in this adjacency matrix here. D to B, did I have anything? No, because the direction is from B to D. So I had written D to B as 0. It has got converted to 1, which means using an intermediate vertex A, I can reach B starting from D. Can I have that? Yes. D to B, D to A, is there an edge? Yes. A to B, is there an edge? Yes, which means that I can reach D to B using a vertex A. This was our intermediate vertex here. So I have reached B using an intermediate vertex A. That is why it got converted to 1. Let's find out about this. D to D. D to D. Can I reach D starting from D? Can I have a cycle from D to D using an intermediate vertex A? Let's find out. So T of 0, D to D. So intermediate vertex D to A and A to D. Let's see. In T of 0, what is D to D? In T of 0, D to D is 0, or D to A. D to A is 1. And A to D. What about A to D? A to D is 0. A to D is 0. See here, A to D is 0. So 1 and 0 is 0. 0 or 0 is 0. 0 or 0 is 0. D to A and A to D. Yes. So D to D, here it is going to be 0. In T of 1, D to D will be 0. Next I'm going to find out. Now I have T1 matrix. So similarly I'm going to have T2 matrix. Similarly I'm going to have T2 matrix. I hope this is clear to all of you. How to convert zeros to ones using this rule. Alright. Now to have T2, I'm going to be considering T1. So this is going to be my T of K minus 1 now, and this is going to be my T of K. So this is T2. Now in the first matrix, my intermediate vertex was A. Now in this second matrix, for the second generation of this matrix, my intermediate vertex is going to be B. The first intermediate vertex was A, now it is going to be B. So the second row and second column, freeze them. Alright. The first rule, retain all the ones. From T of K minus 1 to T of K, retain all the ones. So wherever you find 1, just copy them. So here's 1, 1, 1, 1. So this is 1 over here. And copy those intermediate vertex values as well. Okay. So this is what I have. Alright. Next, I'm going to try to convert all the remaining zeros to ones using the intermediate vertex B. So now this is my T of K minus 1 and this is my T of K. Apply this rule. First one, A to A. T of 2, A to A. T of 1, A to A, or T of 1, intermediate vertex is B. So A to B and T of 1, this is B to A. So here this is I comma J. I comma J. B is my K. So this is I to K and K to J. According to this rule. According to this rule. So I'll see in T2 A to A what value I'll get. Can I have a transitive closure property in T2 A to A? So for that I'm going to first check T1 A to A. What is A to A in T1? 0. Or T1 A to B. A to B is 1 and B to A. B to A is 0. B to A is 0. So 1 and 0 is 0. 0 or 0 is 0. So in T2 A to A, I'm going to write the value 0. Next, A to C. Let's find out A to C. Can I have a transitive closure property there from A to C using an intermediate vertex B? All right. Okay, let's find out A to C. So in T2 of A to C, first I'll see T1 A to C. A to C in T1 is 0. Or T1 A to B. A to B, do I have an edge? Yes, so it is 1. And B to C, do I have? B to C is 0. B to C is 0, so this is 0. So 1 and 0 is 0. 0 or 0 is 0. So in T2 A to C, I'm going to write 0. A to C. Okay. I don't have an intermediate vertex through which I can reach C from A. Next, A to D. Let's find out A to D. A to D is also 0 over there. So let's see if I can do that. A to D. So intermediate vertex is D over here. This is IK. This is KJ. J from J is going to be D now. Let's see. In T1 A to D. In T1 A to D, do I have? No. 0. Or T1 A to B. T1 A to B, do I have an edge? Yes, so write the value as 1. And T1 B to D. B to D, do I have? Yes. This is 1. So 0 or 1. 1 and 1 is 1. 1 or 0 is 1. So inside T2 matrix A to D, that 0 got converted to 1. Let's verify it. Initially, we wrote that there is no direct edge from A to D. But now using transitive property, I can reach D with an intermediate vertex B. Let's see, can I do that? Yes. A to D was 0. See here, A to D was 0. But using an intermediate vertex B, can I reach D from the vertex A? Yes. A to B is an edge. True. B to D is an edge. True. So this is also 1. This is also 1. So which means that I can have a path from A to D using an intermediate vertex B. So transitive closure is applied to this particular graph from A to D. That is why it got converted to 1. I hope this is clear. All these are going to be zeros. This is going to be 0. You can calculate it using that formula. The next one, D to D. Let's find out if I can have D to D using an intermediate vertex B. So T1 D to D, or my intermediate vertex or K is going to be B. So I will be D, J will be D. Intermediate vertex K is B. Let's calculate this. In T1, what is D to D? T1 D to D is 0, or T1 D to B. D to B is 1, and B to D. B to D is also 1. So this is going to be 1. So D to D, I'm going to have 1 over here. D to D, inside T2 matrix, I have 1. So even this value 0 got converted to 1. Let's see. Initially D to D, because I cannot have a self loop. There is no self loop like this. So it was 0. D to D was 0. But using an intermediate matrix or vertex, can I reach D again, starting from D and ending to D? Yes, the intermediate vertex was B. Let's see. D to A, yes. A to B, yes. B to D, yes. So all these are ones. So when everything is 1, yes, I can reach from D to D. I can have a path from D, starting from D and ending to D. Like this. Alright. So all zeros are converted to ones in T1 matrix. Now similarly, we'll have T3 and T4. T3 will be calculated with the help of T2. T4 will be calculated with the help of T3. And this T4 is going to be my last matrix, and this will give me my transitive closure. This will give me my transitive closure. Let's see how to do that. Okay. So I'll calculate T3 now using T2. So this is T3. So this is my T of K, and this is my T of K minus 1. That is T of K, this is T of K minus 1. So in this, my intermediate vertex is going to be C. So third row and third column, freeze it. Freeze the third row and third column. First rule, retain all the ones. Wherever there are 1, just write it down. Right. Also write these elements which are frozen. Alright. So wherever there are zeros now, these 3 zeros, I'm going to try to convert them to 1. I'll see if there is any transitive relation present in the graph for those vertices. Alright. Apply the rule. T of K, so which means T of K is 3. Okay. Which is the first one? A to A. So this is going to be A to A. So T of 2, A to A, or T of 2. Intermediate vertex now is C. So if this is I and J, my K is going to be C. So A to K. So it is A to C and K to J, C to A. So this is I, this is K, and this is J. Alright. In T2 matrix, what is the value of A to A? 0. Or in T2 matrix, what is the value of A to C? A to C is 0. And C to A. C to A is also 0. So 0 or 0 is going to be 0. So A to A will remain 0. Let's see B to A. B to A. So IJ will be B and A. B to A. Intermediate vertex is C. So B to C and B to C and C to A. B to C and C to A. In T2 matrix, B to A. T2 matrix. B to A is 0. B to A is 0. T2 matrix B to C. B to C is also 0. And C to A. C to A is also 0. So here B to A will also remain 0. Let's see B to B using an intermediate vertex C. No, it cannot happen. So this will also remain 0. If you look at the graph and if you calculate it using this, or shall I calculate that? Alright, let's see. What was that? B to B. Okay. B to B, B to C, and C to B. So if you put in T2, B to B is 0, B to C is again 0, and C to B is again 0. So B to B will remain 0. So you can see this T2 and T3 are the same matrix. There is no change. So for T4 matrix, I'm going to have the matrix T4 now. I'm going to have the matrix T4. This is T3 matrix. So this will be T of K minus 1 and this will be T of K. So I'm going to derive T4 matrix with the help of T3 matrix. So here the intermediate vertex will now be D. This is the last vertex. So freeze that. First rule, retain all the ones. Retain all the ones and also the frozen values. So retain all of them. So let's see, we'll try to convert. This will remain 0. This will remain 0. If you put it in the formula, you will get this as 0. So remaining ones, A to A. Let's find out. In T4, A to A, in T3, A to A, or T3 intermediate vertex is D. So A to D and T3 D to A. So if this is IJ, this is IK, and this is KJ. Let's find out. In T3, what is A to A? In T3, A to A is 0. Or in T3, A to D, D is the intermediate vertex. A to D is 1. And D to A is also 1. So this is going to be 0 or 1. This is 1. So A to A will be 1 using an intermediate vertex D. Let's see if that is possible. Intermediate vertex is D. Can I start from A and reach A using an intermediate vertex D? Yes. A to B, then B to D, and then D to A. That is why this has turned out to be 1. Using intermediate vertex D, I can go from A to D and D to A. So similarly, if you apply to all of this formula to the remaining, this is what you will get. So except this third row, which is C, everything has turned to 1. So this matrix is my transitive closure matrix. Or this matrix is going to give me my transitive closure property using Warshall's algorithm. Let's see. B to B. Can I reach from B to B? Yes. From B I can go to D, D to A, and again A to B. B to C can I go? If you remember the adjacency matrix, B to C was 0. B to C was 0, but now it has got converted to 1. So B to C using an intermediate vertex D. I can go from B to D and D to C. So I can say that there is a path that exists between B to C. D to D, okay, that is already done. Right. So this is my transitive closure. Okay. Using Warshall's algorithm. This is the rule that you have to apply in order to get this transitive closure property. If there are, remember, if there are 4 vertices, you will get 4 by 4 matrix and you will get 4 iterations. If there are 3 vertices, it will be a 3 by 3 matrix and you will get 3 iterations, T1, T2 and T3. So similarly, you can calculate the transitive closure property for any given directed graph. Alright. So take any directed graph, take any example and try to apply Warshall's algorithm and find its transitive closure. So this was about Warshall's algorithm using dynamic programming. In the next lecture, we'll be studying some other algorithm using dynamic programming for a graph. Thank you very much.